This week on The Bachelorette.
On the Barbie,
You look like the budget Pete Davidson.
can love still get blooming?
Hey, let me talk to you for a second.
I'm here for someone who is willing to put me in front of the drama.
Yo, what is up, everyone, and welcome back. We got to talk about this new episode of The Bachelorette, which is episode 2 of season 21, Jenn's season. And this was an episode full of drama. I told you guys this last week. It's almost as if the men are more dramatic than the women when they're on The Bachelor. So let's get right into this episode, you guys. Alright, so they begin the episode with a sneak peek of a fight that's going to be happening between Thomas and Devin. But let's start from the beginning. So they did something a little differently this time. They went internationally super quickly. I mean, it's week 2 and they're already in Australia, Melbourne, Australia to be exact. Jenn seems super excited about this, as do the men. So the first date card comes in for Sam, Marvin, Brian, Jonathan, Aaron, Grant, Jeremy, and Devin. It's a group date, and the date card reads, "Let's find love in Melbourne." So it's the first group date of the season. They get going right away. Devin, as soon as he sees her, he loses no time. He grabs her and lifts her up into the air. So they go into a market. Now, this is my type of day as a big foodie and someone who loves to cook. But they're trying some new food and drinks. And some of these things that they were trying were a little too crazy. Kangaroo testicles? But this group date is cool. The guys were cool with it, having fun. Unfortunately, poor Sam N is allergic to dairy or something like that. So, not being able to eat anything with everyone could be, kind of negatively against you. But then they go to some other shops, and then Devin, I'm telling y'all, he's losing no time. He grabs Jenn and says, "I got a surprise for you." And then they disappear, and all the guys are like, "Well, where they at?" They were all mad. Devin took her to go get ice cream at an ice cream shop. Now, is he being a team player? Not necessarily, but is it all fair? Yes, it is. I mean, that's what it is. So the guys eventually find them. Then they go to a comedy club, and there was some comedy. It was like a comedy festival going on. So they get there. There was a stand-up comedian. She's kind of roasting them. So then the guys are given 10 minutes to write some zingers and go up and perform them. I would hate my life if that was me at the moment. But also, I feel like it's too early for them to make jokes. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you need more time to have more material, because Jenn says that humor is very important to her. But anyway, they have their 10 minutes, and then Devin was the first one to go up. It was not funny to me. He did roast Jeremy by saying, "I'm gonna hand it out to Jeremy now," and then he lowers the mic stand all the way to the ground, saying that he's short. So then Jeremy goes, and then he starts to roast Devin, and before you know it, all the guys are roasting Devin. I didn't feel bad for him, though, because he looks like the guy who can dish it, so he should be able to take it. But it shows that there is sort of a target on his back. So then it is later that night, and they are dressed up a little nicer. The first guy who grabs Jenn is Jonathan, and he was the one that came in the first night with the face covered. But he seems really cool. He's cool for sure. They discuss his funny socks and how he had a glow up from high school. Just a conversation, get to know each other. Back with the other guys, though, Aaron, who's Noah's brother, is still very bothered by Devin. I'm just thinking he needs to let it go. But next up was Grant. I like Grant. He asked a pretty deep question. He asked, "What shaped you to be the woman that you are today?" So Jenn says, "I had to grow up fast. I started working when I was 14. And then he says that he wants family. And I loved the way that he grabbed Jenn in sort of like a loving way. And they were just laughing, and then they kissed. And he said that it felt like kissing the woman he's going to marry. And I was just like, aw. We see the guys who didn't go on this date back in the hotel get another date card. This one is for the one-on-one, and it goes towards Marcus. I think first impression Rose Sam thought it would be him, but it wasn't. But going back to the guys, Aaron still won't let Devin go. Again, he's mad that Devin took Jenn to go get ice cream earlier, but he's taking it too far. He's calling him the wrong name, questioning him, and even goes as far as to say that he doesn't think Devin is ready to be with a woman like Jenn. He says, "Jenn doesn't want a boy. I doubt your intentions. You're wasting her time." But Devin did good. He says, it's not for you to see me with her. It's not for you to determine that. And Aaron says, "Wow, you really are delusional." Then Aaron goes to talk to Jenn. And I mean, this guy has the personality of a paper bag. But then, you guys, this was hilarious. Devin rolls up with a cart and ice cream and interrupts Aaron. And I thought that was, I was like, that's the way you get them back. It was kind of genius. So Devin talks to Jenn. He says that he loved her little moment earlier and he hopes that she doesn't take his attitude as him being arrogant or egocentric. He just has a big personality. And she says, no, 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 you're having fun. You're being yourself. But Aaron is losing his mind even more now. And then Jeremy goes to talk to him and tells him, like, what Devin did. And then Jeremy says, well, you should go back there and steal her away from him, just like he did to you. And it's always awkward to see when someone's like, oh, can I steal you away? And then the person's like, can you give us a minute? So, but that happens. And Devin leaves, gives Aaron a few minutes, and then goes back to talk to Jen. So it was too much, like, stealing each other. But it looked like they were getting ready to fight. But Aaron leaves and Devin kisses Jen, and it was a good kiss. When the guys reconvene, there's a little bit of a fight, but it shuts down as soon as Jen walks in, and then she gives the date rose to Grant. So it's kind of funny that these two were fighting and it went to neither one of them. So that was it. It is then a new day. The one-on-one with Marcus. I could tell that there was something about Marcus that attracted Jen since night one. So they get on a plane and they're going to be going skydiving. I don't think I'd be able to do it, y'all. Jumping off 15,000 feet? Jen was nervous for sure. Like, I could tell she was not looking forward to this. She looked very cute on this date, though. And Marcus, he wasn't that nervous because he's jumped out of planes when he was in the military. They went up so freaking high. And they did it. And as soon as they landed, they kissed. So then later, they go towards the night portion of the day. And she says that she loved the way that he was very protective and kind of encouraging her today because she was very scared. And he says that he loves that she took a risk and that she did something that she was scared of. Then as they're, talking, he starts to open up. He starts to get emotional because his last deployment, which was to Afghanistan, he says there was a situation where he got very injured. Some grenade was tossed into the room. So he was very hurt. He was in the hospital a lot, had a tube, almost didn't walk. So it was very bad. But that made him realize that he wants to live a life worth living and full of love. And he starts to cry. So Jen says that this is a sign of his resilience and that he's a great hero. And she's very grateful to know him. She then offers him the date rose. He accepts. And then they finally kiss. So then the next day, it's another group date. They're outside in the wild. Jen loves the animals. She's playing with the koalas and they're doing a photo shoot. She says that she wants someone who also likes animals. And that's how I know I'd be gone real soon because I don't like animals, you guys. I really don't. I don't want to be touching furry things. But anyway, not only is it like a photo shoot, it's also a bit of a challenge. But so they're making the guys go with Jen. They're going to take pictures, but each guy is going to be holding some crazy dangerous animal. So you had someone hold a lizard, an owl, a weird furry animal that looked like a giant rat, some weird squirrels. I can't. So then Hakeem is getting ready to go. And his animal is a spider, and he was freaking the F up. Jen had to be like, it's okay, breathe. I would have been mortified. It was bad. So then Dylan, he had a gigantic snake wrapped around him. Ugh. But he was the person that won. I don't know what the metric of winning was, but Jen chose Dylan, probably because he held the biggest snake, so he won, and his reward is he gets to have some extra time with her while everyone else goes back to the hotel. So it is later, and then Jen and Dylan have their one-on-one style date now, because that was his reward. To be honest, there wasn't too much chemistry between them. I got more of a friendly vibe, but it was nice hearing Dylan talk about his parents, who he looks up to. They're still together, and they had a great love story, and I really did respect and admire that Dylan began to share that being in the house, he can't help but to feel a little insecure being around a bunch of cool guys. He's kind of like a shy guy. He's going to medical school. And I think it takes a lot for someone to say that. And I think that what kind of surprised me was that he's not you wouldn't expect him to feel like that. So it kind of just shows you that everyone is insecure at times, but him being able to articulate that towards Jen, I thought was really respectable. I liked him, and Jen appreciated him, so she gives him the rose, and then they kiss. So the guys go back to the hotel, the ones that lost. And when they get there, they're saying that they're bummed out because they basically got no time with her. And they ask the men there if tomorrow at the cocktail party, can they please respect that they didn't have enough time so they with her, so maybe they could be considerate and allow them to have more time with her tomorrow at the cocktail party. Now, I already know that some of these guys aren't going to care, but they say, yeah, they understood and they'll be mindful of that. Also, it's a day later and Aaron is still mad at Devin. This is way too much. Aaron again is trying to tell him that he has no depth, that he says he's concerned, and Devin is defending himself as anyone would, but then Aaron says that he sees Devin as a bully, and then he says that he has something to give him, a book. It's a book to help him grow. It's like a self-growing book. It was crazy. I'm not saying Devin is the best, but Aaron is such a loser. Like, what the hell? So then it is the next day, and it's the cocktail party. The first one to pull Jen aside is Devin. Now, as you can imagine, this has the men from the animal group date mad because he told them that he would give them time. But Devin is talking to Jen, saying that he wants to talk to her before the chaos happens. He says that he brings chaos wherever he goes because he's loud. I don't know if that's a good thing to say to someone you're trying to date, but he does say that he has had to hold himself back from when he was in relationships in the past, but he wants to be himself now, and Jen really likes that. And I think that what Jen really likes about him is that big personality. So they're talking, and then Thomas, he's the guy who's also Vietnamese. He goes up there. He's like dashing up the stairs and says to Devin, "Hey man, can I talk to you?" Like very aggressively. So they go to the side and he starts going off on Devin. And Jen can hear this, by the way. So Thomas is saying, you said to 8 guys that you would let them go first and you didn't uphold your promise. And Devin says, no, I said that I would respect that y'all needed more time, but that didn't mean I couldn't be the one that went first. Like, who gives a damn? What difference does it make if I went first, second, or third? So they start to argue. And again, Jen can hear this. But the way the argument was happening, Jen... to Jen's ears, Devin is the one that looked like the sane one, like the one that was correct. So I think that she took his side. And by the way, though, I was just thinking, how dumb can Thomas be wasting his time to fight with Devin instead of using that time talking to Jen? So after the fight, once he does get to talk to Jen, their whole conversation is about the fight. So it's really dumb. And then Jen, she says that they can't be making decisions for her. She says that anyone could have pulled her first, and she just spent 10 minutes sitting alone listening to a fight. So that was definitely a bad look on Thomas. Then Sam goes and talks to Jen, and he says that he was very disappointed not spending much time with her yesterday, but he trusts her judgment and whatnot. And then she says that he makes her a little flustered. I don't know what that means, but then he says, well, you bother me too. And then they start eating each other. Like, again, like last week. So they're definitely sexually into each other, but that's a whole other thing. So Jonathan had a very special moment with her again, and he's making strides for sure. And Spencer also had good chemistry with Jen. So even though it's only been 2 weeks, we're definitely starting to see a lot of intensity and passion. So outside, Thomas and Devin are still fighting. Thomas is so angry. He says that he wants to punch Devin. He says, get out. He's cussing at him. And Devin is saying, you just embarrass yourself, dude. And he made a good point. Like I said, why didn't you go up and talk to her? Why you went directly towards me talking about, I need to talk to you? Thomas' response was, shut the F up. All a man has is his word. But you know what? If anyone paid close attention, and I'm going to say this, Thomas was definitely doing Sam's dirty work for him. Just saying. That's all I'm going to say. I don't trust Sam. I don't like Sam. The one that was kissing Jen earlier. I just don't. So then it is time for the rose ceremony. They do it outside, outdoors. They were like at this beautiful building that looked like a palace. So Marcus, Grant, and Dylan already have a rose. And then the other roses go towards Austin, Hakeem, Spencer, Jeremy, Jonathan, John, Thomas A, Sam M, Devin, Sam N, Aaron, and the last rose goes to Thomas N, the one who started all this drama, which I knew he was going to stay because we've seen a lot more scenes of him on the trailers. But this means that 3 men had to leave, and this was the end of week 2. And also, I thought it was hilarious. Devin proposed a cheer, and I was like, damn, he really is trolling them. And it's funny seeing them all get so triggered. So that was the end of episode 2, week 2. You guys, I was thoroughly entertained. The preview for next week, it looks like the guys will continue their attacks against Devin. But again, the joke's on them. They're just getting mad, and at the end of the day, they need to be focusing on their connection with Jenn, not trying to tear someone else down. So we'll see what it is. But y'all, let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Like I said, I thought it was a really good one. Please let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. You have a great one. Bye.